Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place in the Nandua Guru Tenwa Dabar, also known as the Great Hindu Temple in the centre of Dublin City. In order to gain answers to her questions, the exquisite sound of Jules, or Yuki, has decided to seek out advice from the overseer of the Euthanatos in the city of Dublin. Though she is not a permanent fixture of the chantry, she is known to be rather helpful to students who wish to understand better their dharma or see perhaps clearer their path. I have one very important question.
Yes.
Do you bring the customary offering of Indian food?
Yes, she does.
All right. Mostly because I will point out, I assume Sam will tell you that the perfunctory offer of Indian food is important.
Yes. Tim had made mention of that to me at some point.
Excellent. Give me just a second. For the record, the woman's name is Ithara Shvati. And you will see this woman sitting, kneeling, you would assume in prayer or meditation, in front of the great statue of Vishnu at the center of the temple. She looks like this.
Jewel will quietly wait, so not to interrupt the prayer and meditation, and just let the smell of Indian food that coming from the tray she's holding make its way over to her to sort of announce that she's there.
Namaste, child.
Namaste, teacher.
She will turn on. She will turn from where she is sitting and gesture for you to come over.
Jewel will do so. I have brought Indian food.
Ah, I see that you are. I see that you are a confidant or friend of Samira Khatri.
Yes, I guess at this point we could say both.
Have you ever met this NPC before, Heather?
Once briefly, when the character was introduced.
I see. She will say, I see. Though I sense that other than bringing me passable chicken korma and bhaji, you seek something else.
There are events that have happened lately that have caused me to question some of my faith.
I would argue that you question your beliefs, but that faith is ever present. She will kind of gesture for you to sit down as she takes the tray.
Jewel will sit down. That is one way to see it. It's more, I question if my faith is in the right place.
She will deftly take up the knife and fork in her hand. She'll remove the veil so she can eat comfortably. She's rather an attractive woman underneath all of the layers of her robe and her face and her facial veil. You'll see her henna tattoos embroidered onto her face in swirling patterns, and she'll say, "So, what questions is it that you have to ask? I am not the entity in which you place your faith, so I may not be able to give you a frank answer. However, I will attempt, in all honesty, to give as much of an honest answer as I am capable."
what the Chodona speaks, our law, it speaks a lot about desire and denying such as a means of attaining spiritual enlightenment and avoiding corruption.
Indeed.
It does not speak anything of desires born of love, or love at all.
Yes. And you have lost your heart and wonder if that makes you unclean or impure, or if it has tracked you from the road of enlightenment.
I know it could detract me from the road of enlightenment. I'm wondering if I know it could take me away from my duty. It could distract me from that, but how could love take you away from the path of enlightenment? Isn't it a necessary portion of life?
She will hold out her hand, and she will hold out the water, the water in a cup that you brought her, and she will give you the cup in your hand, and she will say, "This is your heart as it is. If you sip from your heart until there is nothing left, if you drink away everything save the clarity, then it becomes lighter. However, she will pour more water into the cup. If you step away from the teaching, if you try to fill your heart with something other than clarity, then it is weighed."
I think I see the meaning here.
Oftentimes, the hardest decisions that face us are not necessarily those of life and death. They are those of what we need or what we feel we need versus what our souls, our very hearts cry for. Love is often Love is often a roundabout road, a road that thinks will lead you somewhere, but yet will lead you only back to the beginning. But then again, it can be an excellent and, how would you phrase it, enlightening walk in and of itself. So it is not inherently wrong. You merely need to question what it is you value more and make the decision based upon that.
Truthfully, there are other parts of our law I have come to question. Question the continued usefulness of. I know straying too far toward one side or the other of the fine line that we must walk can be disastrous. It could even be deadly for some.
A path that is walked without clarity is walked with a blindfold. When it is that you must end a life, you must know that you do so with the perfect clarity of decision, eyes unblinded.
And I suppose there is not a way to say this that is going to seem pleasant. I have known my purpose for a while now, or a purpose. I'm meant to help bring about the end of this world as it currently exists.
However, now you doubt the steps upon your own path.
I wonder if that is my only purpose.
She will shrug.
I know it is a fate that has been seen for me, or at least part of a fate that was seen for me, that was told to me. That I would help put to death the old things in this world so the new can be born.
Destiny is malleable. What is truth may oftentimes become a lie.
Then, if I wanted to know more, that is knowledge I would need to seek out for myself.
To whom is it you believe you are in love?
He is an ecstatic. He calls himself Tristan.
You are clouded. You have lost your clarity.
Perhaps.
She will move her hand to her belt, at which point she'll draw a dagger and she'll flick it around her fingers before she'll put it down in front of you. And she'll then stand up and she'll say, your connections weigh you down. You lose your focus. Ultimately, you must decide the fate, the path that you wish to walk. If you continue to walk hours, then you must regain your clarity. If you wish to walk another, then you must accept your feelings. You get the very heavy implication she gave you the knife, basically saying either rid yourself of Sketch or you have lost your sense of self. Hashtag Euthanatos logic.
You are asking me to do something unconscionable.
Am I?
This boy has done nothing to deserve this.
Allow me to ask you a question.
Very well.
Your compassion, this new love that you feel, has it made you view the world differently?
No. It is still dying. It is still a place of suffering, writhing masses crying out for change and falling into their own pain when the burden of life becomes too much for them.
Indeed. Life, death, the dance continues. However, now that you've found this new emotion, this new compassion, were he in need, can you honestly say that you would grant him the good death?
I would do anything for him. If it had to be done, I could make myself do it. But I won't do it just to prove my loyalty. That is vulgar.
She will contemplate for a moment, her head moving ever so slightly to the side, and she will say, life, death, truth and lies. In all honesty, you need to determine your own path. You worry that your emotions lead you from the path already, by your own admission, yes?
I have been worried, yes.
Then my request is not to prove your loyalty. It is to prove perhaps your capability is the wrong word. Your willingness to reattain clarity.
You wish me to reattain clarity by killing someone because they have clouded my judgment.
In the end, your judgment is all you have. This feeling may not have impacted your judgment yet, but who is to say that it will not? In time, who is to say you will not come to empathize? Who is to say that when the time comes, you will not be able to do your duty?
Now it's beginning to make sense to me. I'm not actually questioning my faith or the law. What I'm really questioning in my heart is if the way I've been taught is truly the only way.
Indeed. We are often the ones who hold the gun, who hold the knife, the last sight that people will see. But we must know in absolute certainty that our actions were taken for the greater clarity, were taken with greater clarity, in order to service a greater good. We cannot have our judgment clouded by our emotions. We cannot have love dictate when we will act or how we will act, lest we lose our place, lest we be too slow, lest our finger hesitate. The wheel must turn.
Is love not a part of the wheel?
It is, but it is not a luxury we are allowed.
That seems wrong.
I see. Why?
It's not just actions done for our pleasure or our benefit that can corrupt us. It's carrying out our duties themselves. When I came here, I was cold and harsh and unfeeling. And I have met him and several others who've pulled me back to realize that just because this world is dying does not mean there's not still life left in it yet to be lived.
I see. We are the watchers. We are the silent sentinels. We yield death to those who deserve it, those whose lives have become nothing but pain. We must not feel that pain ourselves, lest we be lost to it. And I sense that if you lost this boy, your heart would be broken.
Perhaps.
In that case, you would become compromised.
Who is to say whether or not heartbreak would make us compromise? We are.
The tenants tell us this. This is why we are encouraged not to form these relationships.
How? Then we are meant to guard the wheel and all of humankind, regardless of the suffering it may cause us, but without any suffering caused by the loss of the good things in life?
We exist so life can continue to exist. We must accept our roles.
And so life is just supposed to continue on around us without us.
We are the guardians of the wheel. We can make sure it will continue to turn. Oftentimes, we must deny ourselves the world to protect the world.
And what about when that denial endangers us?
Then we meet our deaths. We return to the wheel we protect.
Perhaps you're right, and I have strayed. My mind is cloudy and unclear. Maybe I am lost. I don't believe I am.
She will sigh. The only emotional sound you've heard her make. Then leave this temple and do not return until you regain it. Because until then, you represent a danger.
Then Yuki will sigh. Very well, if that is your decision, I shall leave.
I hope that you find the clarity you lack. Exquisite sound of jewels.
Thank you. Be well, teacher. And Yuki will bow and take her leave.
When you walk out of the temple, sitting in front of you on the pavement outside, because it's quite late at night, is the same dagger offered.
She will stop for a moment to look at it and walk past it.
Okay. If you're happy with that, we'll end the scene there.
I am.
Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.